New Zealand. Let's go.
The undisputed
Kiwi light heavyweight Carlos Ulberg is in Perth ahead of his first ever headline act. Dominic Reyes explains why Ulberg is his most formidable opponent to date.
And when they said Carlos, I said, hey, let's go. Freaking number 3 in his backyard. Oh, man. It's going to be a great one.
And Perth's own Steve Erceg is dialed in ahead of UFC Fight Night this weekend.
Like, I'm thinking too much about what they're doing. I'm not fighting Brandon Brainer. I'm not fighting Karma. Like, they're fighting me.
Get ready for UFC on Sky.
live from the UFC Apex. It's time!
He's again. Punishment, he's down now. He did it to get out, but he's wearing a bunch of pressure from Magny. 30 seconds left. And now Marcos Santos is down. This referee won't step in. Magny. Brandon's not really expecting it. Is that a slip or was he hurt? A slip while he's chopping. Ulberg kicks him off. That's a big shot. Right hook. And right here left. Ulberg's really starting to punish him now. Unbelievable. Absolute slugfest. As long as it lasted. Zampeski with a short right hook. Wobbles the right with that one. The damage is insane for these guys, right? Crazy.
Chris, the problem
Two in a row. Lays him out already early in the first round. He's taking a risk going forward, but that's what he's got to do. Yeah, those takedowns are just too easy for Tyro. Right now, that's very uncomfortable. There's the tap early in round 2. Tatsura Taira is going nowhere.
Kia ora e te iwi, no mai hoki mai ki UFC on Sky, Koravinda Hunia, Tōku Ingoa, and this hand and person next to me, Dan Hooker.
I feel like we're getting closer every week.
I know, it's...
Next week we'll be one. Come sit on my knee.
Right.
Come here, Nisi. Take a seat on my knee.
Not disturbing at all.
Not disturbing at all. Hey, but close to home.
This is it. The set feels like it's closing in on us, but that's fine. That's fine. We've got our set. We've got our whare. Dan, how are you? I know you're back in training hard out. How has it been going this week? The diaries of.
Yeah, picking fights day by day. Picking fights,
Yep.
starting causing a ruckus, trying to stay out of trouble. Another day, another dollar.
Yep. Just stay in the gym. Staying in the gym. We'll help you do that. Look, another guy in the gym at the moment, Dan, getting ready for UFC Perth. We have Carlos Ulberg main eventing in Perth at the end of next month, which is really exciting, and against Dominic Reyes. We have had conversations with these two gentlemen, but before we get into that, your thoughts on this fight? I know we've gotten into it a little bit already, but this is actually making up for a very interesting fight, this one.
Yeah, in terms of stylistically, it's going to be a good one to watch. It's a good stylistic matchup for Carlos. I believe this fight's been matched twice, and it's fallen apart due to injury. Maybe, I think it was one apiece. I think they're 1-1 on injuries. So the fight never really came to fruition. And a lot of people have been commenting saying, you know, Carlos should be fighting for the title next. Why is he fighting Dominic Reyes down in rankings? Carlos ranked 3, Dominic Reyes is ranked 8. But a lot of the coming to a title shot comes down to timing as well. There's obviously the title fight the following weekend another two guys, the kind of number one contender fight is on that card as well. So it comes down to timing. If Carlos sits this out and doesn't fight anyone in this time frame, then by the time whoever wins the championship fight is ready to go, the timing will be all over the show. So it's kind of like Carlos needed to fight on this date. The UFC needed someone to headline UFC Perth. Yeah, it's a win-win situation. He gets the main event against Dominic Reyes. He gets a good stylistic matchup. Dominic's another very savvy striker, another very technical striker. Yeah, it makes for a very interesting fight. It's not like a guy that's going to run over and try to grab a hold of Carlos. I believe this is 100% going to be a finish at some stage of this fight. Both guys carry a lot of knockout power, so it's going to be the first guy that kind of makes a mistake, gets clipped. And then timing-wise, when Carlos gets his hand raised in the time frame, it'll work out perfectly for a title shot.
And there's been a few people haven't been giving Dominic Reyes the respect that he deserves. You pointed out off camera that he's got 3 wins on the trot. He had a bit of a bad run before that, but it feels like he's on a bit of a resurgence at the moment.
Yeah, obviously, he had an absolute war with John Jones, and maybe losing that fight kind of set him off mentally a bit. You could see in the following performances, he was stopped a few times. I believe it was a 4-fight lose streak, but he has turned that around. People they're quick to forget your wins, but take a very long time to forget your losing streaks. He had those 4 losses, but he's on a 3-fight win streak against some very sound fighters. Anthony Smith, Justin Jacoby, and Krylov was his last one with a big knockout. So he's still a huge name, a former title challenger, and it's a good feather in the cap for Carlos Ulberg if he gets his hand raised.
How tough is it? Obviously, you've fought down here in our region. How hard is it to get opponents to come down to this side of the world?
It's harder to get the bigger name guys, for sure. Just with the travel, like they don't like doing what we have to do every oh my gosh, they moan, they make a negative, they just moan on and on about it, honestly. To get a fighter down here, if you do bring them down, they're just sitting there the whole time going, oh, travel, I had to come out early, I had to bring this, I had to do all this, I had to change my sleep schedule. And we're just sitting there going, playing our little violins, going, where? Like, it's what I have to do every single fight. So it's like once in a blue moon, I get to fight in Australia or New Zealand. But otherwise, we're traveling to the other side of the world. I've fought in London, I've fought in Tokyo, I've fought in New York, many times in Las Vegas. It's just part and parcel of being from this side of the world. So it is harder to get a bigger name guy to sign a fight down here. But when you do get it done, like, it's a good time.
Yeah, this is absolutely a quality fight. Of course, as I mentioned, September 28th, UFC Perth. Tickets go on sale this week, hence why both gentlemen are over in Perth to promote that very fact. And here is what they had to say ahead of their big clash. Okay, Flano, joining us now on UFC on Sky is the 8th ranked light heavyweight Dominic Reyes. Kia ora, Dominic, and welcome to the show.
Hello. Thanks for having me today.
No worries at all. Look, you've landed in Perth. Tickets have gone on sale for this event that'll take place at the end of September. But talk to us about being in Perth so far. Have you been there before?
Never been in Australia ever in my life. I got here about an hour ago, just finished a workout, and I'm on the phone with you. So far so good. I'm interested to see what happens with the jet lag, but that's tomorrow's problem, I guess.
I was going to say, who gets off the plane and then is ready to go with media? Not just talking on the phone, but actual media.
Hey, I'm blessed to be here today.
Finding out about this fight with you and Carlos Ulberg was exciting, especially here in New Zealand for us fans, seeing as the fight was supposed to happen 2 times before and it didn't get off the ground and now will finally happen. Your thoughts when Carlos Ulberg's name came across the table?
So first of all, everything happens for a reason, right? So we're here right now. And when they said Carlos, I said, hey, let's go. Freaking number 3 in his backyard. Oh man, it's going to be a great one. Two guys that like to throw hands. Yeah, man, Carlos is a very formidable opponent. And he's worked his way up to number 3, and I get to have the opportunity to beat him and get a title shot. So here we are.
Absolutely. You've been on a tear yourself, 3 wins on the trot. The word that I see used to describe you right now online is the resurgence, that word resurgence of Dominic Reyes. What are your thoughts on that?
I'm like a phoenix, raising from the ashes. And yeah, it's definitely a career resurgence. I had my back against the wall against Jacoby. I was 3-fight losing streak. And yeah, it wasn't looking real good. I didn't trust myself and I didn't believe in myself up until that point. And once I got it done in Louisville, I was like, okay, I know what I'm doing. I'm here. Everything is out as it should be. And I've just been riding that wave ever since.
Yeah, that was going to be my next question. When do you feel that it clicked for you to, come out of maybe a rut that you had and to go on to do these great things in the division now? When you look back at those times, what do you take away from it, from that adversity that you had to face? Well,
as the great Volkanovski says, adversity is a privilege, It wasn't easy. It didn't feel good, but it was a blessing in disguise, right? I got to humble myself. The Lord humbled me. He put me back where I needed to be, really, really clear on what I needed to do. Just work. There was no secret formula. There's no secret, team or combination. It's just work and belief. Work, belief, and faith, and in gratitude. I'm grateful to be talking to you. I'm grateful to go on a 20-hour flight to come over here for a day. I'm blessed to be here. And that's when you do things out of love and gratitude and positive emotions, you're going to be successful more than you're not. And that's where I'm at with my life. And I'm just happy to be here. I'm happy to be here, but I know who I am. I know what I'm capable of. It's not just like, oh yeah, I just want to take part. Like I'm happy to be here because I know what I'm capable of. And this is what I do. It's been almost 10 years I've been in the UFC now. And I've been all the way to the top and all the way to the bottom. So, man, ain't nothing left to it but to do it. I'm just having fun out here.
Yeah. And I think maturity has a lot of, I'm not saying you were immature before, but, maturity within the sport in yourself. And now you're just in this mode of, I don't give an F and I am who I am and this is what I do type mode.
Yeah, 100%. And like I'm going to be a father in December. My wife's pregnant. I'm like, I'm leveling up as a man, as a person. Like everything's just as it should be. And man, like I'm just excited. Like I get to fight Carlos, man. It's been a long time coming. Like you said, it's been a long time coming. And he's a formidable opponent. Probably the best athlete I'll ever fight. Thus far for sure. And it's quite a challenge. He's definitely a tough puzzle to solve.
Well, the great thing about it is you talk about, that adversity is a privilege, and then you get to this point now where you're back in title talks. A win here puts you back into those conversations. Carlos is already reaping those rewards right now, sitting in third. So, at 8th position, this could propel you for, only greater things.
Absolutely. Yeah, he's 3 right now, which is a great spot for him to be. I'm 8 and I get to fight up, and I'm on a 3-fight finish streak. So, win this fight, finish this fight, and there's no denying me. I'm undeniable there, and that's where we're at. I'm excited.
Yeah.
September can't come soon enough.
Yeah. You spoke about those 3 losses, and of course, number 4 has a little asterisk beside it that we won't speak of, kind of like Voldemort. But I mean, I bring this up because you've been there before. You've been there fighting for the strap, preparing for a title fight against John Jones, of course. What would it mean to you to be back in that position again, to be fighting at the absolute top against the absolute best?
That's where I'm supposed to be. All the work, everything I've done, it all leads to the top. It all leads to the title. But either way, man, I'm a champion. Inside my heart, that's who I am. That's how I carry myself every day. So all that I need now is just that strap to solidify the truth that I know in my heart. So, yeah, I mean, It used to feel a lot different thinking about a title, to be honest. It was like this whole big, like crazy thing. Now it's just like, yep, let's go do it.
Yeah.
Like,
That's mine.
that's where I'm supposed to be, you know?
Yeah.
Like it's not like oh my God, the title's coming. Wow. It's like we just gotta go to work. Another day at the office kind of thing.
And the light heavyweight division itself is up and about. Everyone's fighting at the moment and everyone's fighting for top spot. It's really exciting at the moment.
And everybody's looking good too. It's really nice to see my I guess coworkers, right, doing well and putting on for the division. You know, I get excited when I see light heavyweights put on good fights. I'm not like guys like, oh man, I want everybody to do bad, or you know, when they do good, I'm nervous. I'm like, heck yeah, man, look at it. That's what I'm talking about. You know, we are the most dangerous division in the world. Let's show everybody. You know, so I'm kind of I root for my division. I root for the guys to do well.
I love that. Look, before I let you go, Dominic, I did watch a podcast. I think it was with Henry Cejudo and Kamaru Usman, and they brought up that you love like extreme sports. So I know that you've just said that this is the first time to Australia, but have you given any thought to coming to New Zealand, the home of bungee jumping, and giving some extreme sports a go here in New Zealand?
I would absolutely do that. I love bungee jumping. I've been one time, but it was pretty awesome. Yeah, extreme sports, New Zealand. Let's do it.
Love it. Well, hopefully we will see you in the future, but for now, we'll be watching out for you in Perth. All the very best for the press conference and camp moving forward to September the 28th.
Let's go. Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Whānau joining us once again on UFC on Sky from Perth, the third-ranked light heavyweight Carlos Ulberg. Kia ora e hoa, welcome back to the show.
Kia ora, thank you.
Look, we were just saying Perth looks beautiful behind you. How are you finding it walking around where you will be going into battle in over a month's time?
Yeah, it's nice. Actually, yesterday we went for a hike, a nice long hike around the mountains. So it was nice to, I like hiking. That's my thing. And, back home. So it was nice to come here pre-fight week to get myself, just to connect myself here to the land here. So the hosting land here. So it was nice. And then this morning went for a nice little bike ride around the lake here. A beautiful city. I love it. The weather's always really nice too.
Yeah, it is really nice over there. Obviously, the day is looking beautiful, but I did see on Instagram you going for a hike. It looked like you were up on top of some sort of mountain or height, but it looked absolutely stunning there, right up your alley.
Yep, that's it.
Look, I first wanted to get your thoughts. I know that you'll be facing Dominic Reyes at UFC Perth, but headlining your first event. Only took you 9 fights to get there, but here we are. Headline act. How does it feel?
Yeah, nice, right? Yeah, it's just at this point trying to get those reps in now, and it is all fairly new, especially being on the biggest platform in the world. So just trying to get the reps in now, and I think the more I'll do, the more confident and comfortable I'll be around doing these things. So yeah, it was nice to do the face-off today and just the formalities and with the government side coming through and the media and stuff like that at the face-offs today. So it's all fairly new, but I know that I'll be able to fit into it well pretty soon.
Yeah. And I mean, it's a great opportunity. I know, tickets go on sale on Friday, and it's a good opportunity, to get the buzz going around this UFC Fight Night. But how much do you get out of it, not only being in Perth to kind of be like, oh, yeah, this is where it's all going to be, but to also see Dominic Reyes before the fight? Yeah.
Like it's just, it's given me a bit more of a head, more of like a pick up the butt to be like, hey, this is really happening, pinch yourself. And, this is truly happening. So, we went for a little ride into the town as well today. And you can see the big billboards up, so the posters are already up. You've also got, there's a lot of backing here. And that's, I think, the bigger thing is the backing that they have here with the Perth, the government here. so far out from the fight. They've got everything kind of led into it right now. So it's amazing to see that. So yeah, it's nice to be involved right now so that when I get home, it's like it's not gonna be alien to me when I come in fight week.
How does it feel to get this fight off the ground, seeing as you were waiting for it and we didn't quite know who you were going to face, but we knew you were going to face somebody soon?
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was either I sit around and wait for a fight, which could, you know, when you're looking at the division at the moment, there wasn't anyone to fight, because you've got the week after me, you've got Yuri and Khalil, and then you've got the title fight as well. So I sat back and I was like, well, there's not going to be anyone, and there's this card in Perth. UFC gives us a call, so we took that. I mean, it's an advantage because we've got the home. It's home soil, home advantage. Family, you know, family and friends are able to travel to Perth, which I've got family and friends pretty keen to come along and support. So you've got that advantage, and I think that's going to be key for me.
Yeah, you've had we were there when you fought in Sydney, so we know that, you know, you're used to fighting local. How much of a difference does that make for you to be fighting in our region as opposed to overseas?
Yeah, big difference, right? You've got big difference. I guess I feed off the energy as well, off the crowd too. So I love the energy that the crowd gives you. And it's less hostile than the American fans. But you know, it's you know, again, it's just the home advantage of, you know, of being Anzac, and so close to home that it won't break the bank for the family members to be able to travel across. Although it is still a 7.5, 8-hour flight, but just not very foreign to us, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. What are your thoughts on leading the charge on this card? I know, you know, you've been on cards many times and already mentioned this will be your first time being the main event. Plenty of Anzacs on the lineup already, but how do you feel to be the main event on a local card and kind of, you know, being that person that people are looking up to as, you know, I'm going to be that guy one day?
Yeah, blessed, right? Very blessed, and you know, it's all about timing. And I think that was the key thing about taking this fight, the opportunity that had given. But we've seen this, like I've always, you know, pictured it for it to happen, and for it to be in a place like this. It's amazing. So yeah, I feel blessed and I'm able to headline a show for us Anzacs too.
Look, Dominic is saying that this fight will be his ticket to a title fight. Do you agree that this could be the one that will determine, you know, what happens after next week at, you know, with that light heavyweight title fight?
Yep, for sure. Yep. I get a good KO over Dominic Reyes. That'll give me the title fight for sure.
And just who do you think you would be facing, seeing as it's Ankalaev Pereira 2? Who do you think wins that fight?
Yeah, man, two very tough warriors. I think they're both, you know, there's going to be a lot of blood in that fight. It's you know, obviously Beard is going to come back with you know, with a lot of, yeah, he's gonna want it a bit more. But I think it's going to be a tough fight. It's going to be a tough one, interesting one to see.
Yeah, absolutely. Considering the first result, Alex Pereira surely would have done some soul searching coming into this rematch fight, but well deserved in the same token. But Carlos, very exciting for you. Very exciting indeed. Very proud of you as always. Can't wait to see you in action. Enjoy the rest of your time in Perth. And we'll continue to follow your journey to the main event, UFC Perth.
Yes, thank you very much. Thanks, Rev.
Kapai, well, exciting times ahead with UFC Perth, keeping the news local, which we love to do on this show. It is Dana White Contender Series season, and we have two more City Kickboxing teammates of yours going to be competing. Now, we'll get into Cam Ralston in a minute, but Brando Pericic will make his debut in this arena. Balkan Bear, Hoping you can give us a few thoughts on him and, this moment for him.
Yeah, sure can. Like, he's got a striking background, big heavy kickboxing background, and how do I describe the Balkan bear? Bit of a bull in the china shop, really. Like, he makes for an incredibly exciting heavyweight fighter. Like, he's very dynamic with his striking. Like, if you go back and you can look up Erceg on like old YouTube fights of his kickboxing, there's spinning around knockouts, there's spinning kick knockouts, spinning elbow knockouts, there's flying knee knockouts. He's a very athletic heavyweight. I believe he was in the Australian under 21 rugby team. Like, he's an absolute freak of an athlete, but he's chosen combat sports, which is very lucky for the fans. Obviously, at heavyweight, it's he can get to the top the City Kickboxing team has very high hopes for Erceg. Like, you can get to the top of the heavyweight division so quickly. Like, a couple of dynamic knockouts, you find yourself in the rankings. A couple more good fights and timing works out. Like, in a short space of time, you can see yourself in the top 10 of the heavyweight division. It's unlike any other division in the UFC.
Yeah, because I feel like in New Zealand, we're very heavyweight inclined in terms of we have, even
well,
the history of MMA
I feel like we're super heavyweight inclined.
Yeah, true.
like that's what people forget. The heavyweight has a limit.
Yeah.
The heavyweight has a limit of 123 kilos. And if you looked at my fight show, there was not many guys that were under 123 kilos. I think my heaviest guy was 200 kilos. Like, the Pacific Islanders are built a bit too thick to be a bit too thick to be fighting in the heavyweight division of the UFC. The boys have got to trim it down a bit.
No, that's true, and I think it was perhaps the last time we came into City Kickboxing, we saw Brando with the Tougher Brothers when they were at City Kickboxing, and he was doing a couple of things with them, and I think he had maybe just found out that he had this opportunity. I think he was originally slated for something else, but was, getting in to get ready for this. But talk about this, opportunity for him in terms of what he can, gather from the wise heads at City Kickboxing to help him in this process, because the stage is a huge step up in comparison to, his appearances on the local cards.
Yeah, he's obviously, he's in the right place. Like, he's extremely athletic. We've already ticked that off the list. He's explosive. He's got knockout power. He's got those fundamentals down. But what he's missing is kind of the stuff that's at City Kickboxing, the thinking part of fighting. That's he's got to put his thinking cap on when in the gym, and he's trying really hard, and he's working with Mike Angove and hitting pads with Eugene Behrman and stuff like that. So they're teaching him everything he needs to learn to succeed at the highest level. His opponent in this fight, Ellison, is another striker as well. He's got, I think, 5 wins, 4 of them by punches, by standing knockouts. So it's going to make for a very, I'll bet good hard-earned money.
Which he doesn't do lightly.
Which I don't. Which I do heavily. That this fight does not make the judges.
Yep.
I'll put money it doesn't get out of the first.
Yeah.
These two guys both look for the knockout. Erceg is going to go forward. He's going to get to swinging and jumping around like he does, and someone's going to hit the deck.
Which is what you need to do on the Dana White Contender
Which
Series.
is what I pay my money to watch.
August is, of course, Dana White Contender Series, so keep an eye out on your guides to see when that will be coming to air on ESPN. Keeping it local, Steve Erceg from Perth will be in action this weekend, UFC Fight Night, Hernandez versus Delitse. Here's what he had to say as the co-main event. Kia ora, Steve. Welcome.
Good to be here. Thank you.
Now, look, I call you UFC flyweight. However, this weekend you will be fighting in bantamweight. How much of a surprise was that to you?
I know it is bantamweight, but it's not really bantamweight. It's like we're fighting at 135. We're both flyweights. It's just the fact that he couldn't make weight on short notice, which in a week, I don't blame him. So, yeah. It's nice to eat, I guess.
That's always a plus to eat.
100%.
But look, obviously you've mentioned he, won't be able to make weight because it's only a week's notice. I feel like you're coming accustomed to these last minute fights sort of thing in your career so far. So talk about that, last minute change.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I've dealt with this sort of thing like my whole career. Just obviously on the regional scene, it's a lot harder to get people to say yes on a week's notice. So I'm very grateful that despite all the changes, the UFC have managed to find somebody to make the walk on Saturday night. So.
And O'Day Osborne, what can you tell us about him?
Yeah, I mean, he's been around for a while. Southpaw, explosive striker. He's definitely dangerous, especially early. So my plan is to, be cautious early, but the longer the fight goes, the better it is for me. So my plan is to make him very, very tired.
I was going to ask you about that because obviously, especially in that fight against Pantoja, when you went 5 rounds with Pantoja, only losing to decision, but it showed what you have when you are also, in those deep waters. So, talk to us about that and training for those long-winded fights as opposed to looking for an early knockout.
Yeah, I mean, it's training for 5 rounds, especially when you haven't done it before. I mean, training for any fight's hard, but like training for 5 rounds is really hard, especially because of the anxiety not knowing whether you can go 5 rounds with a person that's done 5 rounds many times before. So now that I've had a couple of those in the bank and I've gone, hey, I can get through them with the best guys in the world. Now it's like, well, you're fighting 3 rounds. It's like, man, I can just balls to the wall. I can just go at him for 3 rounds and I don't really have to be worried about my cardio or anything like that.
I know that there's been a lot of talk about you not getting the results of late and this fight, probably having a little bit more meaning in terms of getting back into that win column. But talk to us about where you've stood and perhaps what you've taken away from these, what we call lessons, not losses, and bringing into this fight.
I think the biggest one is that I've been looking at these guys and putting them a bit on a pedestal. I've been thinking, like in the Pantoja fight, 4th round, I thought he was getting tired, and I was like, I should start to push. And wait, maybe he's trying to say something. In the Moreno fight, I was thinking, this Moreno, he's obviously trying to set me up for something. Against the Kai, I was like, he hits hard, I got a big guy. It's like I'm thinking too much about what they're doing because I've watched them for so long. It's like, wait a minute, I'm not fighting Brandon Moreno, I'm not fighting Kai. It's like they're fighting me. So it's like trying to change the mindset a little bit and like give myself some respect, I guess.
Because when we have seen you, obviously, when you came onto the scene, you burst onto the scene, with an absolute bang. And there it felt like you were 100% fighting Steve Erceg's fight. They were just existing in your orbit. So, what have you what have you kind of put in place perhaps to ensure that this fight, you are backing yourself 100%?
Yeah, I mean, I think it comes down to training. So one is reminding myself that during rounds and that sort of thing. And just something that I have never felt comfortable doing, which is sharing feelings and all that nonsense. But talking to a sports psych and getting input from them and trying to, I guess, tick all the boxes and leave no stone unturned to make sure that I'm going to be the best I can be.
Yeah. And of course, making it enjoyable. I mean, you have to want to be there and want to be in, like, granted, in those last 3 lessons, they were at the top of the division, quality opponents. So now you have the opportunity to go back to those Steve Erceg ways, doing things the Steve Erceg way, and just enjoying it a bit more.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's always been enjoyable. I don't think the magnitude doesn't change that. I don't think the result, obviously winning is more enjoyable, but I think the preparing for big fights and stuff, like the magnitude of the fight shouldn't change your enjoyment through training and stuff. So it's like, hopefully I'll keep enjoying every fight and every lead up as much as I can. And if I do everything the way I'm supposed to do it, should come away with a win.
Yeah. I feel like it's kind of balancing out in a funny kind of way. You came onto the scene, you burst through, you got a title shot so early in your career, and now it's not plateaued because obviously you have so much more to give, but now it's kind of balancing itself out, and now the real grind kind of begins for you to work your way back to that title shot.
Yeah, 100%. And honestly, if I did win the title back then, all I would have heard was I didn't I didn't have to earn it the hard way and blah, blah, and all this nonsense. So now when I win the title, nobody can say that. They're going to go, oh, wow, he really lifted himself up to his with his bootstraps. And that's going to be something cool.
Absolutely. And there's a lot to be said about adversity and what it does in teaching a fighter to, to come back from those, sometimes dark times for fighters.
I agree that as much as I like to think I learn from my wins, I definitely learn more from my losses. Not only skill-wise, but about myself and that sort of thing. So look at everything like a blessing.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, I wanted to ask you something a little, off field on this one, but you're over in Vegas, you're getting ready for your fight. Is it weird that there's so much UFC activity happening in Perth? The press conference, Carlos and Dominic Reyes going to be in Perth, facing off, in your home city, of course. Is that a little bit weird when you're just like, oh, man?
Honestly, I haven't even thought about it. Like, I'm so selfish and Steve-centric right now. I didn't even cross my mind.
So I made it weird.
Yeah.
No, but cool. Look, thank you so much for your time, Steve. I won't keep you too long. I know that you're a busy man, a lot of media going around, but it's great to see you smiling and can't wait to see you back in action this weekend.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Well, whānau, that is us for another week. Dan Hooker, thank you for joining me, as always.
Did you adieu?
Yes, and don't forget, whānau, at the top of the show, we mentioned Carlos Ulberg versus Dominic Reyes at UFC Perth, September the 28th. Tickets go on sale this week. They're over there promoting them right now. Packages are still available as well. Head on over to ufc.com/Perth for all of those details. Thank you for joining us. Hei kona mai.
The undisputed